There it is. Okay.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Laura.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. The sun is shining. Yay!
Yes, it is. I turned the solar on for my pool, so hopefully this
Ooh,
weekend I'll get some pool time.
nice. Okay, I seriously doubt you need my help at all, but do you have any questions?
Will do.
Yeah, if you need anything, let me know. But do you have any questions at this point?
No,
Okay,
nope. Ready to go. Everyone knows where the toolkit is. If not, I can show them. And yeah,
cool. Thank
rock and
you.
roll.
And I'll put some comments in the chat room. And
Awesome.
thanks for doing this for Mira. She's definitely not feeling well, so I appreciate it.
Oh, I hope she gets better soon.
Yeah.
Give her my love.
Thank you. We think it might be a mild case of COVID, but she's got some of the symptoms, but not necessarily the terrible cough or anything like that. But she just has not been feeling good for a couple of weeks. So
Okay.
oh, and Jordan, I know you taught before, but if you'll introduce yourself again, that'd be awesome. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Whoa, look at that background. Okay, I saw the funniest background on Facebook yesterday. It was from a KW agent in Hawaii. Have you seen it? He has the whole aisle of toilet paper behind him, like from a grocery store. It was great. It was so awesome.
That's a really good one.
I
Oh,
think
how funny.
Elaine, no, she didn't post it, but she commented on it. It was hilarious.
This is actually in Hawaii.
Oh,
It's where it's right outside of Lahaina
okay.
on Maui, and you go there and it's just like so tranquil. I make it my first stop every time I get off the plane.
Cool. Awesome.
All right. Well, it is 9 a.m. We have a full class. Let's go ahead and get started. Well, thank you everyone for joining. My name is Jordan Thorpe. I'm an agent in the Santa Cruz Market Center, and I've been with Keller Williams for a little bit over a year. I've been licensed for going on 6 years in May, and I've been involved in real estate for quite some time. My grandfather is a developer in Southern California, so on and off with him and just helping him out. That was if you're ever interested in development, if you ever get the opportunity, go for it, because that's a very, very cool field. I'm really excited to actually teach this class because I have a background in event planning. When I was 18 years old, I bought my first company. Then it was an event planning company. So I treat open houses like they're events. And I think it is such a great way to lead generate, to get the house sold, to get in front of people and make that connection. I'm missing open houses. I'm a total extrovert, so it's very hard for me to be confined to my house. That being said, I want to get started and have people share some wins, just very briefly, share some wins that they've had, either real estate, personal, whatever you feel comfortable sharing. Do I have any volunteers? No volunteers?
Are you talking about sharing at an open house success?
No,
Or
a win in general. Let's get out of this icky funk that we are all type feeling.
I'm taking a listing next week.
Are you taking it or you earned it?
Oh, I earned it. Oh, I
That's
earned
right.
it. Tom, don't you say anything. No.
Awesome.
I
Congratulations.
love having
Renee.
Renee and Tom in classes right now. Loving this.
We have a relation. We go way back. Let's put it that way.
Who's that?
Huh?
Who is that? Oh, Renee.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So, one I have to share is that I did an open house way back when I still think about it all the time. It was a couple with their two kids. They came in, and the minute they walked through the house, they were kind of like melting into the house. And so I kind of like followed them around and showed them the ropes, right? And just on a whim, I says, well, it looks like you guys are settled on this place. Why don't we just write it up? And she looked at him and he looked at her and they said, yeah, let's do this.
Awesome.
I was absolutely floored. It was the one time, it was my listing, and of course I double-ended it. I don't make a practice of doing that. However, it's that one time where you just ask and somebody came across and said yes.
Absolutely.
And what a win that was. How many times do we not ask, right? It's in front of you and we don't ask. Yeah.
The business is there. It's about asking for it.
Yeah.
All right. That being said, let's go ahead and get started. I will share my screen with you. And please let me know if you can see my screen. Can everyone see this?
Yes.
The PowerPoint?
Yes.
Wonderful. If I could have someone monitor the chats if any questions come up. You're going to see me kind of looking down a little bit. I have notes written down on my iPad below my computer screen, so I'm not doing anything crazy, just looking at notes. All right, so welcome to Ignite. This is Elemental Session 3, Open Houses. We are in the Ignite 2.0 lab, and the first 2 weeks we focused on what to do to jumpstart your business, and now we're focusing on how to do it. And open houses are a great tool for your business. Successful agents, every single day, they are growing their business and they're running their business. And in, what is it? Shift, I believe. Probably in all of them. But Gary Keller says that successful agents never put anything in front of growing their business. They grow their business every single day. So growing your business, what it consists of: lead generate for buyers and sellers, make seller listing presentations and get listings, make buyer presentations and get listings, preview real estate. Right now we're not previewing real estate much, so we're virtually previewing it. Lead generating for buyers and sellers, and remember we're supposed to be doing, it's recommended that we do 4 hours of lead generation a day. So prepping who you're going to call, knowing your script, following up with those people who you've met previously. Make seller and buyer presentations and get their business. Remember, the business is there. We have to ask for it. Running our business. So marketing our sellers' listings, our listings that we have, showing our buyers' houses, negotiating contracts, transaction management to closing, vendor management, setting goals, compliance, risk management, attending training and getting coaching. We're all attending these trainings. I hope you are all on the Shift Pivot Ahead Facebook group and watching those live streams. They're invaluable to me. And managing our money. So remember, that's a really important one, especially right now. We want to keep our business lean and we don't want to have a lot of excess expenses if we don't need it. All right, the benefits. We're going to jump right into it. Benefits of open houses. So do we have open houses to sell the listing, or do we have it to gain more clientele?
Both.
Gain more clients.
Sell the listing. All the above.
Both.
Both. You absolutely want to sell the listing. 150%. I don't know any single agent that takes a listing and says, I don't want to sell it, or earns a listing, excuse me. And you also use this opportunity to gain buyer and seller clients. My favorite thing is when neighbors come in and they say, oh, we're neighbors and we're just looking. Great. Who do you know that you want to be, that wants to be your neighbor, and who do you want to be your neighbor, and how can I get in contact with them? And I just asked that question, and they kind of look at me like, they probably think this guy is insane, or they think, wow, he's a go-getter. Either way, they're thinking of me. So the benefits of open houses.
Elene, can you do me a favor?
Me? All right, so one of my favorite things about open houses are they're inexpensive and they have a very high potential rate of return. And that is gold to me. You can't go and invest in the stock market for too inexpensive and expect a lot of income. Now you can throw an open house for under $50, under $20, whatever your budget is for the open house. And if you gain one lead, what is your return over that? A lot. You get qualified leads from one listing, and it's a productive way to meet buyers and sellers. It's about having conversations too, and knowing the conversations you're going to have. So Tom, you had mentioned previously that these buyers just melted into this house, and that's, you picked up on that, and that's a huge thing. EQ, emotional intelligence, in our business will go very far, because if you can pick up the nonverbal cues and the social cues that people are leaving, that's going to help your business out tremendously. Excuse me. Another really cool thing is, this is like, how many people have taken bold? If I could have you mute yourself, please. Thank you. How many people have taken bold?
Bold 4 times.
All right, wonderful. So everyone knows what a bold, well, not everyone, but there's a thing called a bold 100, and that's where you make 100 contacts in a day. There's also something called a reverse bold 100, where instead of you going out to the people, the leads, the contacts, they come to you. This is like a reverse bold 100. Maybe not that high of a number, but
Jordan,
you're going
can I
to
interrupt you for a minute?
Instead
Jordan?
of what, AJ?
Somebody is asking where can they find Toolkit on the chat box?
Where can they find the toolkit?
Yes.
So I believe Laura posted it in the comments before, but the toolkit is under KW Connect in the new under education courses and in the Ignite 2.0 lab. I will show you briefly.
Okay, thank you so much.
Of course. Give me a second and I'll get right back to it. Can everyone see this?
Yes.
So in KW Connect under Keller Williams University, you click the Ignite 2.0 lab, participant resources, and here you have Spark, then you have Elementals, and here's the full Ignite toolkit. You click this and it will download.
Thank you.
Of course. Let's get back to our PowerPoint. Awesome. Can everyone see the PowerPoint?
Yes.
Yes.
Wonderful. Any questions on what the benefits of open houses are? What are some other benefits that you know of?
Maybe you could get to know the neighborhood while you're there. Like you'll see some things.
Absolutely. You'll pick up on some of the things. So as real estate agents, what's our number one job?
Get an appointment, a contract, and close it.
Close. That's the ultimate goal. How do you get those appointments? What do you have to do?
Lead generate.
Lead generate. That's always the right answer. So lead generation is huge. Open houses are a great way to lead generate because they don't necessarily count the sitting at the open house as lead generation. You get the people to come to you, but what you do before is lead generation. And that is amazing. If you're not comfortable with lead generation, this is a great time to get comfortable, or cold calling. If you're not comfortable with cold calling, you can use this as an excuse to get comfortable with calling around neighborhoods. And I will show you how. Open house prospecting model. Remember, we have a model for just about everything we do with Keller Williams. So it's awesome. So we have to prepare for the open house, prospect for the open house, and pursue after and during the open house. Excuse me. So always remember to follow the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, look on the do not call list, the do not call registry. You don't want to get in trouble with that. Preparing for the open house. So most of us know in advance of when we're holding an open house. There's always those times where it got sprung on you on Thursday or Friday to do one Saturday, or you pick one up on Saturday for Sunday. So that kind of stuff happens. You won't always have the full schedule. Once you make the decision to set up an open house, start promoting it in advance. So in the toolkit, in the guide, it shows you a schedule: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So they select your open house, the time, and talk to people in your market center about getting it. Tuesday, post it online, generate your call list and call 25 neighbors. Wednesday, post it online, install the KW Consumer app on your phone and put a sign in the yard. Hopefully you already have the KW Consumer app. It's branded towards you and you're ready to send it out. Thursday, post it online again, invite your database. Friday, post it online, prepare the market stats and comps, print them or have them digital. Saturday, post them online and place directional signs. Here is what I do to prepare for my open houses. I write down a list. What am I having? Well, I'm going to have an open house event. What time? I want it to be Saturday from 1 to 3, 11 to 1, or 1 to 3, whatever the time is. I'm also going to do one on Sunday from 3 to 5. Let's say it's a vacant house. I create the flyer for it as soon as possible. We can do flyers through design. We can do Michael Lewis Marketing Suite. If you have your own flyer that you're using, go for it. Then I also look at the area and I pool the closest 75 to 100 homes. And I look, are they owner occupied versus rented? What is it? Because if it's a chance for an investment property, I'm also going to call a pool of investors that might be interested in it. Not saying I wouldn't call them anyways, but I'd call them too. I'd also start asking around people that I know have sold if they're familiar with what rents are in the area. So that way, when people come in and ask, well, what are the rents here? I can tell them, oh, it's going for $2,500. It's going for $3,000, whatever the rent is. You develop your own sort of schedule over time. This is a suggested guideline to follow to help you out. You can find the owner occupied versus non-owner occupied in Realist through the MLS. There's a filter you can select for search in custom search in a specific area. You can also draw a map with the parameters that you want. Preparing for success, you have to know the location, know the time, know the traffic pattern, and know the local practices. So around here, where I live in Watsonville, when we do open houses, there are certain intersections that get a lot more traffic than others. And I think that's the case everywhere. And there are certain ordinances with open house signs. You can't block the sidewalk. You can't block approach. You can't do this, whatever it is. So you make sure you're familiar with that, because nothing is worse than the only thing worse than having to go and put out and pick up signs is having to go down to the city to pick up your sign that was confiscated and pay a fee. not fun. A really common question with open houses is, what is the best time to host an open house? And what are your thoughts on that? What are the best times for you, or in general?
I usually like to check the neighborhood when they have the open house. What's the regular times for everybody else? And I like to open half an hour earlier and try to close half an hour later. I try to be so people can come earlier to my house, and then if they are late, everybody else closed already, they have time to come to my open house.
So in essence, you really extend it an hour. So if you're scheduled from 1 to 3,
Correct.
you're going 12:30 to 3:30.
Correct. And
And
I go
that's
at 7:38 to put up my signs.
That's an awesome tactic, because what if someone was stuck in traffic or they got out of the office late? Now they have that opportunity instead of the hesitancy. Oh, I have to call this person and I'm bothering them and I don't want to talk to a salesperson. No one wants to do that. We as salespeople don't even want to pick up and talk to other salespeople sometimes.
You know, one time it's happened to me here. I live in Sunnyvale. I went to see a house just to preview a house during open house time. And I went, they were supposed to close the open house at 4. I was there at 4:05, I think, hoping that, I had my key. Well, the agent already left at 4 o'clock, and there were 2 families waiting outside trying to go and see the house. And I got one client there just because I was previewing for my client. It was just so incredible.
Yeah.
A $2 million house, you know, and I sold the house. So just to go, it's incredible. Just, you know, if you don't have open houses, go to an expensive house and wait for the open house to be over. People will be late, and you may get a lead. Why not?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Times. People always ask, well, what's the best time to hold an open house? For me, I found that there is no best time. I've done open houses first thing in the morning. I've done them afternoons. I've done them evenings. I've done them Thursdays, Fridays, Saturdays, Tuesdays. Open houses are sheer luck. Who is going to show up? That's what I found in my business. And honestly, some of my most successful open houses have been Friday evenings from 4 to 6:30. And I get the people who are stopping on their way home. Oh, I just needed to check this out. I have a full weekend, but I had some time now. Great. Get their contact information. Perfect. Follow up with them, and ultimately they want to come back and see the house, schedule an appointment, and write it up. Awesome. It's about finding the groove that works for you. If you can't do it on a certain time, do it when it works for you and your client. Any questions on planning for success?
Jordan,
Yes.
it's Mary.
Hi, Mary.
I've had good success with the Friday afternoon, especially neighbors.
Yep.
If it's a family neighborhood where you have the listing, a lot of times they're busy with family sports or the kids' activities on Saturday. So I try to have a different time slot on Saturday versus Sunday, hoping to get maybe people who can't make it the other times.
Staggering it, that works too. I mean, we pick up tricks for the trade every single day.
The one thing I wanted to add too is, like, I know in Watsonville, at least my sense is that nothing gets started on Sunday until after 1. Everybody's either at church or they're at breakfast or whatever. I think on Sundays, 1 o'clock, you need to start at least at 1.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's something that she's picked up through the watching the traffic patterns and local practices. So it's the more you do it, the more you're going to be comfortable with it, the more knowledgeable you'll feel, and the more you'll get in your groove.
Hey, Jordan, I have a comment on open houses. One thing that I find is a lot of agents don't want to do broker tour, specifically if they are open for, like a lot of the broker tours are now advertised as open for clients also. And I've gotten some of the very quality leads from broker tours, because when in broker tour, there are mostly brokers, but that one or two clients that come, you could have a very detailed and long conversation. And you know that if somebody is coming at a broker tour, they are really looking for a house.
Yeah.
Because they are taking time out of their office hours to come look at the house.
Yeah. Yeah. AJ, what day is your broker tour?
In Sunnyvale, it is Thursday.
Okay. Ours is Thursday too.
And then in couple of other areas, it's Wednesday, like Los Gatos and Saratoga, it's Wednesday. Yeah.
So smack dab in the middle of the day, middle of the week.
Yes.
You have these people coming in who aren't realtors, who aren't brokers, and they're looking at a house.
Yeah. I have had a lot of success with that because I get so much time to spend with them, because it's just, I mean, you don't have that much traffic and that much stuff, so you can spend so much time with them.
Right, absolutely. And it's about asking those questions, going 3 levels deep, asking if they know anyone or if they're interested, and starting that conversation.
Well, I mean, yeah, I've gotten buyers actually. I think mostly buyers to come out, in fact, and just looking at the houses.
We never know where our next lead or client is going to come from. That's why it's so important to always be ready to talk to just about anyone. There's Bev Steiner shared a story with me one time, and not me personally, but with a class she was teaching. And it was about Mo Anderson. And she said that Mo was in the airport and she was going through the lovely TSA that we all get to go through, and we get patted down and checked and all that fun stuff. And they said, okay, ma'am, you need to hold your arms out. And Mo really wasn't feeling it at the time. She just didn't want to do it. And she was getting ready to just say, absolutely not, and bless your heart. And for those of you who aren't familiar with Southern speak, bless your heart does not mean bless your heart. So right before she said that, she took a second, she reflected, and she proceeded with grace. Right after that moment, she had an agent come up to her and say, oh my gosh, Mo Anderson, I can't believe I'm meeting you. You are so inspirational to me, and this moment means so much to me. So her reflection after that was, I never know who's going to see me and when and where they're going to see me. So I better be on my best behavior at all times. And I relate to that so much, because there's times where I don't want to talk to people. I can't, but we never know. That person could be a client. I could be sitting next to my next lead. I could be sitting next to my next buyer for a house. And if I treat them rudely, they're not going to want to work with me. All right, role model door knocking.
Just to add to that.
I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time with this. Tom, did you say something? You're on mute.
I interrupted there. I often think of that when I'm in my car driving and somebody cuts me off or doesn't give me a break, in the parking lot, I'm backing up or whatever. And I get this real hot under the collar moment, where I just want to flip them off, or I want to, it's that moment, right? And then suddenly you realize, I wonder if they're a neighbor. I wonder if they're going to be the next person that comes to an open house.
Yeah.
Just where am I going to meet these people again, right?
Absolutely. Going that route is so much easier than taking the high road consistently. And long term, the high road feels so much better, because how awkward are you going to feel if that person pulls up to the open house, sees your car and says, hey, you were the guy that got out of their car and acted like a fool and flipped me off. Could you imagine telling your seller that? I couldn't.
Well, and I think a lot of times, like human nature, we test a person's character, right? Before we associate with them.
Mm-hmm.
So many times we can think of them like almost interviewing us by like how we act, react, interact with people. And then they're going to be like, oh, okay, this is actually a really cool person. Now I do want to deal with it. Well, I do want to have a relationship with this person.
Yeah. Yeah. Well said. Well, good point. Good point. So door knocking. Door knocking can be a great tool to invite people to your open house event. And once you have it all planned out, a couple days before, you have your flyer in hand, you have all the information, you go knock on 25 doors, 50 doors, 100 doors, however many doors you want to knock on. You're not, the only limiting factor is the amount of doors that are by the house. Prospecting. Remember, we are prospecting based and marketing enhanced, and we have a great opportunity with us through Command, through our app, through designs, through everything we have available to really dive deep into prospecting. So you want to get the word out about your open house. And full disclosure, I'm a millennial. I've grown up with computers. I've grown up with technology. I can only remember a very short time where I didn't have technology around me. And I dive deep in it every chance I can. So ad campaigns, social ad campaigns. We have the open house ready and we're going to advertise it from our website, or we're going to make a landing page for it, or the property website that we already have through our marketing package. We can do this all in Command. And since we're getting a different data feed than it does on regular, the ads manager and Facebook, we're seeing a higher rate of results, a higher result count than we would just on our own through Facebook. That's an awesome opportunity. And right now, if you haven't ran a social ad, if you spend $75, I believe you're getting a $25 credit for your ad as well. Win. Total easy win. So I want to do 123 Main Street. So I named the campaign 123 Main Street Open House. Advertise the listing, or I want to attract listings. I want to attract buyers, whatever the goal is. You select your goal and you decide where you want to run it. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. From there, you publish it, you go through and the campaign starts and the leads start showing up directly in your contacts right on your homepage in Command. All you have to do is pick up the phone and dial the number. Hey, this is Jordan Thorpe from Keller Williams. I saw that you clicked on the ad. I'm actually having an open house this day. Are you able to make it that day? No? Great. When's a time that I can show you? How does Friday at this time work? Excuse me. Simple and easy. Success is simple, not easy. In this case, social ads and the follow-up are simple and easy. You have to get over the fear of talking to people. Here's everything else. Nairi, were you going to say something?
No.
Okay.
I'm good.
In addition to a social ad campaign, here are the things that I do to prospect. I send out an email blast to my database. With that flyer, I create a newsletter in eEdge. We can't do it yet in Command. It's coming. I'm very excited for that. I send it out in eEdge. I have my flyer through Michael Lewis Marketing Suite, and on the other side of it, I have the client page from the MLS with all of the specifics that people will want. I save the flyer as a picture and I publish it on Snapchat, Instagram, and Facebook. Snapchat, I put it out 3 days before, 2 days before, the day before. Instagram, 2 days before. Facebook, 2 days before. I do it beforehand, so if I get any interest, I can follow up with that person before and get them to attend the open house. Another thing that I'll do is I'll create a landing page specifically for that house. Let's say that I don't want to print flyers. I'm trying to save paper. I'll have my laptop and the landing page there. And when people walk in, they can sign in directly on the laptop through the lead capture form. Now I have their information they have all the information too, because what I'll do is I'll send them the landing page. I'll send them an email with it so they have it on their phone and they can go back and revisit it. Then I follow up with them. It's simple, it's easy. Social media is a great tool for us to be using. If you're not using social media, there's some really great classes. You can check them out on YouTube. I believe we actually have some training here too through the live streams that we're doing as well. And if you have any questions about social media or command campaign, social ads in command, I'll put my information in the chat afterwards, and we will, you can reach out to me. I can help you out. Not a problem. Prospect, promote, and host.
Jordan, quick question.
Sure.
So prior slide, they were promoting online, like posting the open house online every day, right? You were saying Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before.
Yeah.
Is there a reason? Like for me, posting it like Monday through Friday was a lot. Like I feel like people would be like, "I'm over you, Nairi. Like, let's move on," right?
Yeah. So when I ran my test for it, I found that I got better results from posting it starting the third day before instead of Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
And is it the same content all 3 days, or do you change it up so it's like a new picture, new verbiage for each day?
Some days I'll change it up. Some days I will sometimes I'll keep it the same. Usually I'll put the flyer as the actual picture. Say I post it on Instagram, I'll post the flyer as an actual picture. And then the following days, what I'll do is I'll post on my stories different photos of the house with some sort of caption like, imagine waking up with this view, or privacy in the middle of the city, something like that. You find what works for you.
Okay.
And it's about testing the water. So try it every single day. If you notice a burnout from people and you're not getting the response rates, then try it the next time you do an open house. Do it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Let's say your open house is on a Saturday and Sunday. Do it those 3 days before, because then you have that time to follow up with those leads or the people who showed interest, invite your friends, all of that.
Hey, Jordan.
Yes.
On prospecting, one of the things that I've had the most success, and especially just to give background, I'm a newer agent, right? So open houses was I started with open houses, and open houses became my only way to generate lead, because I didn't want to spend money out of my pocket to start this business, and open houses was a cheap and easy way to get business. One of the things I found, and I became a very, very active open house person. I would do it every weekend and almost in the same areas, right? One thing that people sometimes forget about open houses is in your databases, you see some of these people from week to week or every month in that area. And so what you need to do very specifically, and I've done this, is for those people, you have to pick up the phone or text, and you need to call them, because that is your best chance of getting that sale. And that has happened to me. And so sometimes we do this broad campaign and broad prospecting, but we forget this narrow prospecting of 5 people or 10 people with a very detailed message and very detailed conversation. And chances are that they're going to like it because you remembered them. That, hey, they were looking in this area in this price range, and you sent them that information, and you personally invited them. And you even told them that, hey, if nothing else, would love to see you, right? Come on to the open house. So I just wanted to point that out.
That's a great point. Thank you so much. We get so caught up in that we have to generate leads and meet new people and sell the listing and sell the buyers, that we forget about we have a core group of people who appreciate that one-on-one contact. So I have a group of people. Renee, she is the adult village in Watsonville. She is the queen of that neighborhood there. And I have a core group of people in there. Anytime I host an open house in that area, I call those people. I make it a point to call those people and say, hey, I'm having an open house event. I would love to see you. Forget about the open house. Come say hi to me. I want to see you. And they'll chuckle at it and they ultimately show up. So it really is, you know, reaching out to your people and talking to them and having that relationship with them. That's a big, big part of it. Thank you, AJ. Prospect, promote, and host. So the prospecting stage is all about hosting the open house and capturing the leads. Well, you're not going to capture, I shouldn't say you're not. It's very rare you're going to just capture a lead saying, hey, come to the open house and you're going to be my client. It might work for you. It might not work for you. This is kind of a natural flow that they have. Build the rapport, qualify the lead, and then provide value to them. You should always be coming from contribution. So building rapport, greeting everyone that walks in the door, having the guests sign in some way or another, whether it's a booklet that you have, whether it's a landing page, whether it's they send a code to some text service, whatever it is. There's tons of options that we have. Qualifying them. So you're asking the probing questions as they're walking around and you're having conversations with them. What about this house are they liking? Are they looking for something like this? Are they trying to buy right now? You're trying to identify their willingness and gauge that. Because if they're saying, yeah, my lease is up at the end of next month and I have to be in a house. Well, guess what? They are hot and ready to go. Now, they could always renew their lease, or they could say, I'm not renewing my lease. They are ready to go. Right there is your green light. Providing value. Show them a neighborhood snapshot. What is happening in the market? We have an awesome tool at our disposal to use. It's called Smart Plans. There's an open house follow-up plan right now that you can use in it. You capture the lead, you get their contact information, and you follow up with them almost immediately. After your open house, yes, you've just spent 3 or 4 hours having the open house event. Spend another hour following up with those people. It will pay off. It's going to be the best time investment you could make. Of course, if it's not always possible, you know, I've had it where I have to go somewhere right after and I can't. Do it as soon as possible, though. People appreciate quick follow-up, especially in a day and age where you can have anything almost instantly. I could order food and it could be here in 20 minutes. Who would have ever thought that would have been the case? Delivered to my doorstep. That still amazes me. So showing them that you can provide that sort of value is going to make them feel good. The qualify, always asking questions that are going to get an answer to have you ask another question, going 3 levels deep. What about this house is significant to you? Has 3 bedrooms. Okay, why do you need 3 bedrooms? Do you have a family? Is it just you? Who's going to be living here? I'm going to live here and rent out the other 2 bedrooms. Okay, awesome. So you don't need it to work from home. You want to rent it out and you want to subsidize your mortgage. Yes. Okay, great. Are you pre-qualified with a lender? Are you pre-approved with a lender? No. Great. I have a couple of lenders I can send you to. I have one online. You can save some money on third-party costs and get a closing cost credit from them. Great. Awesome. That's a plug for Keller Mortgage right there. Any questions on the promote and host?
Hey, Jordan, again,
Yes.
some experiences. You'll hear some of my comments here because that's all my one thing is on open houses and hosting, and that's where I've generated all my business from. What I wanted to say is, as I started doing open houses, I was trying to figure out, and I was learning all from Keller Williams training as to how to host open houses. And there were a lot of things thrown at you, right? A lot of different strategies. from signing sheets to collect as many leads as you can to quality versus quantity and all those things. The one thing I learned and what works for me, and I think what works for everybody, is it has to fit in with your characteristic, right? As to how you are. What is your strong point? If you are a person who wants to engage a prospective buyer right at the open house, then maybe, and it's your style is your consultative style, then go with that style because you're strong at it.
Right.
Or somebody who just wants to collect leads and then follow up later on, and that's your style, then go with that. There is no one size fit all in the open house promote and host. And so I just wanted to bring that out because a lot of people kind of try things that are not in their natural talent or skills. And sometimes it doesn't work and it frustrates them and they don't like to do it. You have to love to do it, whatever you are doing. Also.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. There is no one size fits all for real estate as a whole. You have to find your groove and your rhythm and go with that. And you're also going to find the clients that can go with that too, because there's some clients that, they can't have someone who's just very laid back, or they can't have someone who's super intense. And that's okay. That is okay. Refer them to someone who's going to match with them.
One of the comments I wanted to make, Jordan, is also know what's going on in the neighborhood. And in real estate, I think sometimes we become very focused on, what I need to tell them about me. And what they're looking for is an expert in real estate. And when I say an expert in real estate, you don't have to be like 30 years in the business. An expert in real estate is someone who, number one, we know more than they do. And then number two, we just have to be knowledgeable about what's going on in the area.
Yeah.
What was that? Know your numbers.
Absolutely.
And the other thing, I just saw a question down here. Somebody in the chat wrote, ask if they're working with a realtor. Instead of asking that, I like to say something a little bit different. I like to ask if you were thinking about writing an offer today, do you have somebody to help you with the paperwork? So indirectly, I'm asking whether or not they're working with a realtor, but I'm not asking that. So, and most often, if you were to say, "Are you working with a realtor?" They'll give you the answer. Oh yeah. Oh, of course,
absolutely.
She's in here, so I don't have to talk to you, right? So.
And if you're like me, the next question is, great, who are you working with?
However, I like the paperwork ad.
So always make sure you ask, we never want to be the ones who are known as client stealers. It's not a good reputation to have. If someone willingly goes to you, that's another story. But if they have said, I'm working with so-and-so, and you pursue that further, be cautious with it.
Another story on Jordan, on what Renee was saying about knowing your numbers and Tom was saying about knowing the neighborhoods is on one of the open houses I had gone, it was hosted by another agent from, I don't remember which agency. And a client, I was waiting for my client and somebody walked in and they were asking her questions and she did not know the answer about that neighborhood. And I'm standing there and for a while, I just kept quiet because I didn't want to interrupt, and it's her neighborhood. And then she kept fumbling for it. I couldn't stop myself, and I gave that information. And it was well, she was glad. But guess what? I walked out of that after showing, they were waiting for me. I'm like, what? They were waiting outside for me in the car. I was like, okay, I can't talk here right now because that's against my principles of talking in front of a house or something when somebody is hosting. If you really want to meet, let's go somewhere and then we can meet. because
Yeah.
I don't want to be the person who's taking away clients and stuff like that. But just the fact that you knew the numbers, people are waiting because people are just looking for that information.
Yeah, you're the expert, and that's what they're looking for. Capturing the lead. So we have our Kelly app we can use. Our Kelly app feeds directly into Command. You type in that contact's name and phone number, name and email, whatever they're willing to give you. You have a book that you use, and it doesn't have to be this complex thing. Name, email address, phone number. Are you currently working with a realtor to find your next home? You can make this Word document, put the Keller Williams logo on it, put your letterhead, whatever you have. Doesn't have to be something fancy, doesn't have to be expensive. Is anyone not using a form of sign-in sheet, or who's not using something to capture the lead?
Not specific like that. I just ask them, like if they seem interested, then I get their contact information, and then I lead into like, I'll email you later with the disclosures or whatever.
For someone that has not done an open house, what do you recommend is the best way to capture leads? Just have a sign-up sheet or confront them directly?
Well, I wouldn't say confront them directly.
Or
yeah, I know what you mean though. You know, it's really trial and error. Whatever works for you, lean into your natural style. Have you done a DISC test?
DISC test? I'm not sure what that is.
DISC.
No.
Okay. So there's a couple of different ones you can take. The Tony Robbins one is really good, but that'll kind of help you learn your style. For me, I'm what's called a high D, and Renee, try not to act so surprised. So I like, it's right up front and we're going for it. Get on the bus, I'm driving, and let's go. And
you know why? You've got to
What?
have you've got to have I in you.
I'm a DC. Yeah. Crazy people, as Elaine calls us. So it's, you know, try a notebook, try this lead sheet right here, try your app, find what works for you. Are you someone who's naturally comfortable talking to people right off the bat and asking for their business and asking for it? Or do you need to build a rapport with them before that? So that's what I would suggest for you.
Jordan, there is a high demand for you to take the test again.
High demand from Renee.
No, I didn't start it, but I agreed.
A lot of people on the chat are saying,
I will take it and I will send results.
Jordan, I have a quick question.
Sure.
So if you use Kelly to capture contacts and then it goes directly into your Command, obviously, when you go back later into Command, I know that there's a filter possibility. How do you filter to just go back to those contacts that you inputted at your open house?
good question.
So you can filter, you can do ones that were created in the last 24 hours, in the last day. There's also a tag when it's submitted through Kelly, a custom tag, it'll say Kelly. So you can search through there too.
Okay, cool.
There is, so a landing page, this is another one. Again, you have to have internet connection to do this one, but they fill out their first name, their last name, email address, phone number, and a note. And then you can send it right then and there. So that's an awesome way to capture a lead. There's a safety thing with open houses and showing properties in general. And this is why I really like a paper one, because if they sign in electronically or I put them in through the app, what if I can't find their name and number? Then what? Now, if they're put on paper and they only put, say they put Joe Schmo as their name, they're, you know, at least I can call, something happens, I can call the police, say, hey, this guy came in, he wrote down his name as Joe Schmo, this is what he looked like. And they have that. They have his handwriting if they needed to check that. All sorts of different things. So being safe about open houses and showings. Park on the street, meet the neighbors, never turn your back on a prospect, establish an escape route, let someone know where you are and when you'll be done, and keep your cell phone charged or have a full battery when you get to the area. Another thing that I would add is always stay near exit ways. Always know where they are and stay near them. So if a client goes in a room, don't go in first. Stay at the door. Pursue, follow up, and convert. So we have our lead generation funnel here, our lead generation model. We've connected, we've cultivated, we have their information, they're interested, maybe not right now, but they're going to, we have to nurture them a little more and they're going to get there. That's awesome. So, excuse me, this is really where you are sending them so much value, they can't help but not want to work with you. It's a call to action. Download my app, take this survey, check out this listing that was just done. Let me know what you think. When can I go show it to you? When works for you? When can you meet me? Set the appointment. They become an active client. You get them under contract and they close. What more could you want? It's so simple and lined out for us, spelled out for us. And I'm guilty of it too. We don't do it enough. We really don't. And I bet if we all started spending an hour more on this and following the model, I bet our businesses would be off the charts amazing. So once you have the lead captured, you've connected, they're in the cultivate stage, what are some examples of things that you send out to really bolster and solidify that relationship?
Hey, Jordan, one of the one of the things that has really worked well is a lot of times there's only going to be one buyer for that house and it may not come from you.
Yeah.
But you have met 5 people there. So keeping up with that house, let's say if it's not your listing and you're doing somebody else's open house. So keeping up with that house and figuring out what happened, because the agent who you are doing the open house for will give you the information of what happened, like when it went pending. That is a pure gold information that is like, worth its weight in gold because you have the information that nobody has.
Yep.
Updating that information, what I have done to the people who visited, who talked to me, who visited, to tell them that, hey, as you are searching for your dream home, I felt that this information could be good for you.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm sending you as you're researching and searching for your home.
Yeah.
And I can't begin to tell you how much appreciation I get for that because nobody is doing and giving them that idea right the day it goes pending.
Yeah.
And that has gotten me so much business out of that.
This is big right here. Cultivate, come from contribution. This is where all your contribution kicks in right there. If nowhere else, go right there. Go heavy here.
I'd like to add something. Neri made the comment about if they appear interested, at that point she'll get the information. And I don't mean to be picking on you. Part of our job is to get them interested. And I know Tom had a fabulous way of having something at the open house that people wanted. And he only had one copy of it. So that these people would have to give him their name and email address to get a copy of it. And that's kind of what you want to do is have something available that you only have one copy, be it, like you said, if someone wanted to look at would you be interested, even though this may not be the perfect house for you, would you be interested in looking at the reports? And at that point, if they say yes, you could say, well, give me your email. So find something that you can give them that will require them to give you their email and maybe phone number.
People want what they can't have.
Yeah, it was kind of a market snapshot.
Yeah.
Showed graphs and numbers, data, right? And I had it up on just kind of sitting up on a flyer thing, all right? And it was just a display.
Yep. There
And
you go.
that's what I would tell them. If in fact, oh yeah, I can send that. I send it out monthly to people who share their email address with me. I'd love to send it to you. Would you be interested in receiving that?
That's it.
And
Simple and
I
easy.
don't have it there to hand out. I just have it.
Yeah. Get their information. Easy. Best practices. So 4 ways you can stand out during your open house. You can have a speaker. You can offer a gift. I've been to some of Renee's, and what she does is lottery tickets. You get a lottery ticket for coming in. Sorry for giving away a secret, Renee. Get the house in showing shape. Make sure it's not dirty. Have a toolkit, just some cleaning supplies in it. Have an air freshener, a broom in your car. It's a dust buster, something like that. If your client doesn't do it or the house is vacant and sitting, you have to do it. And go live. Post updates while you're at your open house in between clients coming in. So do's and don'ts. Welcome visitors at door. Get the house in showing shape. Be smart and think safety first. Don't leave valuables exposed. Don't have messy meals or snacks, and don't make assumptions. If you're gonna have snacks, keep it simple and make sure you have napkins and paper plates and trash bags. A toolkit. I have a toolkit. I have disinfecting wipes, hand sanitizer, paper towels. I don't have toilet paper. Pens. I have custom pens. I have an air freshener or essential oil diffuser. Business cards, a charger, battery backup, a measuring tape, trash bags, and tissues. Cost me $20 to make, and it's lasted me for years, and I just keep refilling it. Following up, here's our lead generation model. Right after you make them a contact or a lead, it's the follow-up to cultivate. Nothing more. Come from contribution right here. All right, ahas to achievement. So what is something that you're going to implement into your open houses?
Well, I like that last thing that you just showed, your toolkit to bring to all the open house, kind of like it's almost like a first aid kit, but it's that whole thing. That's in fact, I have a picture of it right now. I've also kept paper towels, a bottle of 409, a roll of toilet paper. You can't believe it. I came into one open house one time. They didn't have toilet paper. It was staged, and somebody had used the towel as toilet paper in the bathroom. So, it's important that you keep the house, even though when you're not there, if it's your listing, make sure you've got toilet paper in the bathroom because people are, what can I say?
It's humans. We're humans.
So and who knows what you're going to find when you walk in, if it's been open prior to you or if it's been viewed by other listing agents. Sorry to say, but you can find footprints on the floor. You might want to have. There's a little mop thing that you can buy. It's like a Swifter.
Yeah.
And you can just go through the floor because in the previous day, let's say you did an open house on Saturday, you come in Sunday morning and all of a sudden the light's hitting the floor differently. You go you can see where all the traffic was, on the floor, on the wood floor. So a Swifter. Maybe keep it in the closet until your open house is finished. But just swifting the floor.
Yeah.
Clean people,
The dollar store is amazing.
Yep. Music is another thing. Take your iPod, take your phone, have a Bluetooth speaker, and just play some music. Just not crazy club music, but classical music or relaxing music, something like that.
I have Davidson. He's a piano player. I have like 4 or 5 CDs that are in one application that I have, and that thing runs the whole time that I'm there. It's just continuous background piano music.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Remember your daily 10-4. We're not previewing homes per week, so swap out 10 preview homes per week with 10 something a day. Something that's going to help you, whether they're care calls, whether they're, we have conversations in there. 10 minutes of exercise a day. There we go. Does anyone have any questions for me or in general? All right, remember our scripts. We can find them in the toolkit. Follow
I've
the
got a
do not call
question for you.
compliance list. What was that?
Yeah, I've got a question. Can you
Sure.
do a seminar on that connection of our social media to the command system and how all that works?
Rob, what office are you? You're in Gateway?
Yeah, Gateway.
Yeah, I'll talk to Laura.
Okay, that'd be a really good help for me.
Sure. All right. Well, if no one has any questions, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I need to check out this chat. Retake the test, Jordan. I will retake it. And Laura, Chrissy, what market center are you in?
I'm in Campbell.
Great. I'll send my test results to Rob and he can share them with you.
Excellent.
You found it, Laura.
I know, isn't it cute?
That's it. That's it. All right, everyone. Well, I will put my contact information in the chat box right now. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me or call me, text me, whatever works for you.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thank
Great
you
job,
all so
Jordan.
much, and have a great day.
Thank
You
you.
too.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.